So, hello, everybody. It is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. Thank you once again for sitting here with me as we were having a discussion earlier on our podcast in regards to Travis Hunter and the situation with his fiance. So, if you have not checked that, I go check it out. But in the meantime, the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Also, like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are family, and sometimes we share the link. If I share the link and your profile looks like this, please show me this. And then if you're not comfortable, you can go back to that. Just know that no one else can see you but me, not even Donovan, until I bring you up to the big screen. And for those of us that are in the comment section, thank you, welcome. And especially to my moderators, I love and appreciate every last thing that you do. Also like to say, let's be respectful as possible. It's not that we disagree, but it is how we disagree. And the same thing goes for us here on the panel. Today, we're going to be talking about Nina Turner calling on Biden to free low-level offenders after he pardoned his son, Hunter. That is a very hot topic that's going around. And so we decided to have a conversation with you all for about an hour in regards to that. Willie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. One who cares what's going on. Gloria, what's going on with you? Bobo, I hope you're having a great day. Sister Shirley, what is up? And Gary Mac. Keisha, how are you? Donovan, what say you?
Well, it's 3 o'clock where I'm at, and it's 3 o'clock here on a Tuesday. That means it's time for Demetra K. We want to thank you guys for tuning in because we know you guys got a lot of stuff to do. Some of you guys are still putting the lights up around the house. Some of you guys are scouting trees and all that other great stuff. So we appreciate you guys having this conversation with us. Don't think that we don't. African Diaspora News Channel app. Please go down, download it. It's on Google Play, Apple Store. Go download it. You get additional great content around the African diaspora going on right now around the world. How many of you guys know that the French are being kicked out of I forgot what country that was, and a whole bunch of crap is going on in the African diaspora. So what happens over there basically is the playbook for what is going on over here, because the Negroes over there ain't getting nothing. And the sad thing is about it, it's people that look like them. And the Negroes here, we got a CBC that doesn't do anything for us either. So I know damn sure we're African of African descent, because we keep screwing each other over. But anyway, go download the African Diaspora News Channel app, or you can go to YouTube. I believe Cyber Monday, he was giving 25% off to be a member, because the revolution will not be televised. So again, once we get enough people over there, we don't have to be over here, and we can talk the way we want to talk and do what we want to do without being censored and all that other great stuff. Also, you guys, it does take time for content creators to make these great conversations, and Demetra does a lot of good work with that. And we appreciate all of you guys for helping support the show over all of these years. Demetra and I have been doing this show for at least 8 years. And if it wasn't for, people like you guys tuning in, because I remember when there was only 13 people listening to Demetra K, and it was her friends, and that was it. That was it. So we've come a long way, and we couldn't be where we're at today if it wasn't for you guys. But if you guys still want to donate, and we really appreciate it to keep the content creator motivated, there's ways you can do it. There's a scrolling banner at the bottom, the Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Cash, money order, however you guys want to do it. Every little penny is greatly appreciated. Let's get into this conversation.
So yes. Once again, welcome to everybody. Brother Damon, Jesse, your average logical thinker. Who else came on here? Miss White, how are you? Angela, Leisha, and Jesse. Brother Reggie, how you doing? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So as you guys know, Alonzo, how you doing? Long time no see. On December 1st, to be exact, President Joe Biden, who will be leaving office in January as President Donald Trump will be going back to the White House, Joe Biden pardoned his son. It's a full and unconditional pardon to Hunter Biden. It says covering federal offenses related to tax evasion and gun charge. This decision came ahead of Hunter Biden's sentencing and sparked significant public and political debate. The president justified the pardon as an act of compassion, though critics argued it undermines his earlier pledge to not interfere in his son's legal matters. Now, it says this move has drawn scrutiny regarding the fairness and ethics. course, the fairness and ethics question comes in because it's his son, right? Joe Biden did say that he will not be getting in the middle of it at all. He's hands off. And then he was even asked, would he pardon Hunter? And he says no, right? This was right after Trump was elected. He said no, wouldn't be doing it. And of course, here we are having this discussion that he would do it. So let's bring in that of Nina Turner, who was a representative for that of Ohio. She used to be, not anymore. Well, she says there are roughly 10,000 people in federal prisons for nonviolent weed offenses. Pardon them. Now, I will say about Nina Turner, I know some people, have a problem with her for whatever reason. She is basically an independent. Sounds like maybe she swung over to the Democrats occasionally, but for the most part, she's an independent. She was what you call a Bernie-crat. If that helps you with any context, I will say that she is not afraid to speak her mind about reparations and, anything pertaining to Black people. So that's what she said. Now, I took the liberty to look and see what was going on with the feds, right? Now, it says as far as drug offenses on a federal level, over 55% of federal prisoners are serving time for drug offenses. Nonviolent offenders, 72.1% of the federal prison population are nonviolent offenders with no history of violence. First-time offenders, it says 34%. And it says then they're first-time nonviolent. Low security prisons, inmates, low security prisons can include drug offenders, white collar offenders, and others. Then it says the security level, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, if you will, categorizes its facilities into 5 security levels, ranging from minimum to administrative security. So basically, a low-level drug offense for weed on a federal level, there's, as she said, there's 10,000 people that are still serving time. She says, hey, pardon them. If you can pardon your son, then you can pardon those people. Now, of course, Hunter Biden, basically, if I can remember, he basically lied on an application in regards to not doing drugs or something like that. I think it was a gun license or something, and it was obviously found to be doing that, as it sounds like he has a habit or two. So therein lies the question. Joe Biden, will you...
Don't forget the hose. Please don't forget the hose. But go ahead.
Well, there's a whole lot of them in Washington that likes the ladies of leisure. Okay, so of course that brings into the question: will Joe Biden do those pardons? Now we should also give it more context in that Joe Biden is the author of every major and minor crime bill since 1976 and 1994 when Bill Clinton was in office. He helped to ensure the crime bill, 94 crime bill that dealt with the 3 strikes law and things like that. And I also set forth a lot of mandatory minimums, basically tying judges' hands, saying, well, if it was up to me, I wouldn't give you, let's say, for example, 10 years on a low end, but that's what it says I have to do. So I have to at least give you 10 years. She also entered into the conversation that when Donald Trump was in office, he got rid of some, not all, some of those mandatory minimums that tied some of those judges' hands under the First Step Act and some other things. So I think Nina raises a good question, or a statement rather. Pardon them. What gives? Donovan?
Wow. Well, again, why would Joe Biden, who was basically mentored by Dixiecrats, who is a product of his environment and how he was raised, the man is 80-something years old, why would we think a man who does not believe in separate, but the man who believes in separate but equal would do anything that would help Black people? He got into office under Black folks. What did he say? You stood by me, I'll stand by you. And what did he do for you? What did he do for us as Black people? Name me one thing he did for us as Black people that he promised that he would do. Did we ever get that federal police commission? Never got it. Did he ever stop student debt? Never got it. Did we get a real George Floyd bill? Never got it. Did we get the John Lewis Voting Rights Act? Never got it. And I can go on and on and on and on and on. The man is playing politics, and you got to call it out for what it is. He is a Dixiecrat. He does not believe in Black people and white people living together. He believes in separation. He has even said this on the Senate floor. He does not want his children in a racial jungle. This is why he takes credit for the Biden law which is every crime bill written from 1973 up until that time, 1994, and the crime bill. Now, isn't it funny? There's a video of him talking in 1993 on the Senate floor, because he did a lot of talking on the Senate floor, saying it didn't matter. It doesn't matter if your daddy left the home. It doesn't matter your mother is on drugs. It doesn't matter, you went to school and it's an antisocial sitting next to you and you kind of got next to him and whatever it is. Doesn't matter. We got to get you off the streets. That's what he said. Whatever the excuse, whatever your background, it does not matter what the basic problem of how you got to where you're at matters. So what they say estimated, because of that bill, 1 million Black people alone were incarcerated. And we're saying incarcerated, we're not saying they're there forever. We're saying during that period of time, over 1 million Black people spent some time in the judicial system, incarcerated system, right? Now, during the 90s, his son and his daughter were drug addicts. Did they ever serve 1 day in jail? Did they ever experience the crime bill that their father wrote? Not once. But why are we surprised by this pardon? It's his son. Hunter Biden was facing 25 years in jail. Now, I want you to think about this, because a lot of people don't think about this. Why would any defendant plead guilty to all of these charges if they didn't know they were going to get a pardon ahead of time? Now, I might be the only one that kind of thought about, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Why would I plead guilty to all this unless I know behind the scenes I'm going to get a pardon anyway? And that's what I think speculated happens. But this goes to show you guys time and time again, there's 2 tiers of justice. There's justice for those that have money, and there's justice for those that don't. There's the have and the have-nots, and this is how this country operates. And I think it's very hypocritical for those of us who still identify as Democrats. The Democrats always take this high moral ground. And I think I was watching a clip of The View, and I think Whoopi Goldberg, Whoopi Johnson, that's her real last name is Johnson. Her real last name is Johnson. Whoopi Johnson says, the Democrats fight for the LGBTQ, they fight for trans, they fight for women's rights, they fight for migrants' rights. Here's a Black woman who did not even mention the Democrats fighting for Black people. I don't know how many of you guys saw that clip. You guys, this is the lunacy that we are dealing with. They are admitting openly, the Democratic Party will not do anything for Black people. Kamala Harris said it. I'm not going to do nothing for Black people. No. California, you can't get reparations here. And the gentrification of Black people. Notice, if they're talking about exodus out of California, why does it focus on Black people? Because that is the Democratic policy. So I'm not surprised that this man pardoned his son. I'm not surprised that this man is a liar. I'm not surprised that the Democratic Party is full of shit. Excuse my language. What is the big surprise, you guys?
And hello, once again, to everybody that's come on here. Alonzo, thank you so much for becoming a member. Love and appreciate you for that. Michelle says the Black Caucus and NAACP should tell Biden to release those who are nonviolent. Says the root for illegals. I'm sorry, they root for illegals. What about the brother and sister who are incarcerated for small amounts of drugs? Well, you got Jasmine Crockett, who is a representative in Dallas. She's one of Biden and Hunter, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's staunchest supporters. Well, that's his son. What do you expect him to do? Like, she was cheering even like a year or so ago, basically saying he shouldn't, this is messed up and this is a witch hunt. And, the CBC is not going to be raising any of those questions, because then they'd have to admit that Joe Biden has been participating along with them in the benign neglect of the Black community, right? And then they'd also have to watch him out loud, out of his own mouth, saying, no, I'm not going to be pardoned. So it's like they don't want to set him up to have to tell Black people no. Hey, Corey, how you doing? But I'm like a lot of y'all. I'm not surprised. I saw it. I think Al, who came on here Sunday and said Joe Biden just pardoned his son. I didn't even get a rise at all. I was like, huh. I'm not surprised. I mean, come on, let's keep it about. Regardless of what political party you're from or whatever it is, if you have the ability to pardon your son, he's looking at doing a copious amount of years. Wouldn't you do it? I think that's the real question. You would do it. Unless you're just, I don't know. Especially if it's nothing like too bad, you would pardon your kid. I think you would. But I think the problem is that a lot of people's having it. And Brother Reggie, like you said, Corinne Jean-Pierre, the press secretary, was like, absolutely not. He's not gonna. She died on the hill of he's not going to pardon his son. There's no, he's not going to do it. And Joe Biden says, you know, but again, to the most loyal group of voters, and even he said, Black Americans, you've had my back, and I will have yours. It's like, well, you getting ready to leave. When is that going to take place? Is it you're going to do it now? You're going to do it like right as you're packing your desk from the Oval Office and say, you know what? Before I leave, let me do something for Black America. When are you going to do it, right? You have time. You could do something about reparations if you wanted to. You could, do something about those crime bills that you supported basically your whole time in office. You could free federal prisoners for low-level drug offenses, as Nina Turner said. There's a lot of things you can do, but you know what? He won't do it because of NAACP, CBC, and anybody else that's Black in Washington. They're not going to ask him to do it because they're just happy that his son, who's very privileged, by the way, is getting off. And they feel like, in a sense, too, that they're sticking it to Trump, because, well, Trump would do it, and Trump saying he's going to pardon the J6 and all this other stuff. So they don't see it as, well, gee, while you're at it, let's help Black people. They see it as, a F you to Trump. And that's your Black representation, by the way.
Hey, I hope my mic sounds better. I just got this new mic yesterday, so sorry if it's been distorted. Does it sound better? Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, you guys, it's like the hypocrisy to what is going on. If Black people do not see that it does not matter what party you affiliate yourself with, they both do it. Now, ask yourself this question. When Donald Trump was pardoning all these guys that were stealing money in his first administration and stuff, the Democrats, what did they say? Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. Unless you're somebody who has money that's above the law. Now, this definitely is going to help destroy the Democratic Party. How do they come back from this? Because now people, okay, if you weren't aware of the Democratic Party before and you voted for Kamala Harris and all that other crap, and you're all for the woke ideology, this is going to wake up more people and turn more people off to the Democratic Party and say, wait a minute, here we are calling this guy a devil, what he's going to do, how he's going to do it, and all this other stuff. So if this guy is just going to go ahead and pardon his son, what about the J6ers? A lot of those people have been incarcerated for 3 years, and a lot of them weren't even at the storming of the Capitol. What about those people? Doesn't this give Donald Trump the moral clarity to pardon those people? And then what would it say now as a win for Donald Trump if he starts pardoning those low-level mostly Black offenders that have been incarcerated for extended periods of time? That would make the Democratic Party stay in the wilderness for at least 40 years. Let's hear what you guys got to say.
Brother Reggie, you crazy. Talk about what? Look, right here. He says, I would have let my son go to jail out here cracked up, embarrassing our family name. Oh, it's something wrong with you. Raven, how you doing? Says, hell, Biden can pardon them because he would forget that he did it 2 minutes later. All right, let me go down. Hey, it's cold here, by the way. It's really cold. I got a blanket on my lap, which is just crazy. But anyway, Alonzo says Joe has already disdained for us. I mean, has really disdained for us. He's going out signing bills for Hispanics. Yeah, he. I'd be shocked if he did anything for black people on his way out. Wow, Williams just says little background fee. Okay, so yeah, you sound okay. It was just it wasn't. Yeah, it's like a little, but you can hear what you're saying. It's not your normal crisp, microphone action, if you will. Seku, how you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. It says Biden's son publicly exposed as a fiend is sweet irony for his crime bill. Okay, all those black people that you put away, communities that you destroyed generations of black community, and now your son is that. But again, he's rich. He'll never have to really go apply for no job, nowhere, or nothing like that. He won't have the problems that our people will have once they get out. They have to, or on the federal level, they may not have to check that they're ex-felon or whatever the case is. But on a lot of other jobs, they'll have to check that. So Hunter will never have those issues. But you're right. Facts Not Feeling says it's crazy how the same people are trying to use the legal system to screw over Trump. Thinks the legal system is not fair to Biden and his appointed attorney general. Yep, Lene, how you doing? It says try turning down the gain on your microphone. Okay. And thank you for the advice. Tanaya, how you doing? He says Donovan is 100%. Think he meant right, or I don't want to guess there. About Biden on the Senate floor, he told us. So right, he told us who exactly he was, and he said everything disparaging about black people. We knew who he was going to. We knew he was going to pardon his son. Why lie about it? Yep. And how you doing? Yeah, like I said, I'm not surprised that he was. I was surprised that he said that he would. It's like, oh, really? Okay. Jacob's descendant, how you doing? Says Edom won't leave his son behind. Okay. Matthew says Democrats keep this up, they will never make a comeback. I totally agree with you. Mirror work conversations, how you doing? It says nobody is above the law, says the ones who's above the law. Right, the ones that control the law. There you go. Jesse says unless you are part of the elite, wealthy, rich class of people. Yep. Brother Brady says wait, was that Hunter's cocaine? They said we don't know where it came from. But as I've always said, if you had some in your house, they would know where it came from. They would even know it was in your house. Well, we're here at the White House and we understand you got some crack in your house, but all of a sudden at the very secure White House, nobody knows nothing. But I guarantee you, if Trump was in that White House or Obama was in that White House, oh yeah, they know exactly who did it, what grade it was, what part of Colombia, what part of the coca plant, and all that it came from. Whose fingerprints was on it, everything, but they don't know nothing.
Yeah, and real quick, how many of you guys are aware that Hunter Biden, he was administratively discharged from the Naval Reserves, allegedly because he tested positive for cocaine during a random drug test, and that was during the time they found cocaine in the White House. So it's. I mean, and then wait, and those of you guys that are veterans, how many of you guys have ever heard of a veteran who was administratively discharged under a drug possession charge or a drug pop charge that wasn't dishonorably discharged? I've never heard of anybody administratively discharged under a drug charge, but I could be wrong. If you guys happen to have heard of something like that, let me know.
King Shaw, how you doing? It says Biden needs a pardon. Marilyn Mosby from Maryland, Baltimore. She's a mayor. She used to be. And other black folks from his crime bill. He needs to write executive orders, state and federal, to set free level 1 or 2 crimes, especially weed. And the other thing is too, I have seen some black politicians and some that are not, some shields, if you will, asking that Marilyn Mosby be pardoned. I'm one of those that think that she should be pardoned. To me, it seemed like it was get back retaliation for her going after the officers that killed Freddie Gray. But it's like, well, while you guys are ranting and raving about her, what about all the other people that have been affected? I mean, she's a free woman. Yeah, she's got that on her record, but she serving house arrest, if you will, at home, right? There's some people who are in federal prison and serving a long time or whatever. So it's like, they don't even try to hide that they only care about elite black people, right? And Shirley, you say doesn't seem like it's working for Diddy. He has money. Yeah, they got a different axe to grind with him. Hey Tracy, how you doing?
Wait. You have to address this. Diddy has money, but what's the one thing Diddy has that the others don't have? Black skin.
Yeah, so I said they got a different axe to grind with him for whatever reason. And the things that he's accused of is heinous, you know. So I don't know. He just has to wait to go to trial, which I think is in April or May or something like that. So yeah, he doesn't want to spend that time behind bars. You know, he's used to roaming through all of his mansions and all that. So yeah. Um, Daryl, did I say hello to you? How you doing? Says the only black man Biden will pardon is Corn Pop. You crazy? Corn Pop was a bad dude.
What's a bad dude? Corn Pop.
Odd Negroes, how you doing? I hope you're doing well this evening. Who else is on here? Michelle, he says, where is Obama? Him and his loudmouth wife have been quiet since Kamala lost. Yeah, they're probably lost in their multiple estate of Martha's Vineyard, so we're stomping on grapes or something. I don't know. Hey, Troy, how you doing?
Yeah, I just want to add, you guys, for those of you guys that are veterans, that, like I said, nobody's saying that. Everybody knows if you get popped for a drug, that's dishonorable. But you also got to remember, when you got influence peddling, his father got him into this. But here's my biggest thing about that now, and you veterans know this. When you get, what is it, other than dishonorable and a dishonorable discharge, you can't access VA benefits. This man who got a drug charge can access VA benefits. Think about that.
Mad Dog, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. See, Alicia, you said that would be dishonorable. Okay. Lance, how you doing? Says the first time they found cocaine because they found cocaine just this past year in the White House. Yeah, somebody got to have it for real. Okay, just leaving a bag of crack in the White House is crazy.
You know? Well, you got to think about it. If my dad is the president of the United States, how often am I going to my dad's office during the year to visit or ask for advice or whatever? And I happen to be in an attic, and they just keep finding all this stuff.
I mean, they know whose it was, but Joe Biden is like, you will not. Okay. Blame the janitor or something, but not my son. Jupiter, how you doing? You say now they give admin discharges. He says now if you pop on P test, and he says depending on the severity of it, you have possession of it. Okay. Let's see who else is on here. Mirror work conversation says, wow, nope, didn't know that Hunter was discharged administratively for drugs. Yeah, that's news to me as well. Brother Reddy says, so if Trump pardons Marilyn Mosby, will Pitt, Bull, Angela Rye keep calling him Hitler? Right. You know what I mean? That's a good, and he should, out of spite too. In the average logical thing, it says not one. Nope. Donovan, dishonorable buddy. Okay. Norris, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says if Republicans could get past hating blacks and do something tangible for blacks, they would get the black vote and win every election. True that, Donovan. Yep, I agree with you on that. Let's see who else is on here. 48 TCO, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, but who to plug? Some other senator, dope dealing son. Right, there's levels to this, right? Fast Not Feeling says if a black man and I get $1 billion like Diddy have and leaving America tomorrow with that billion. Oh, yeah, you can believe that, okay? Lovely, how are you? Says that was Kamala. You crazy. White powder in the White House. Come on, folks. So what, she just left it on the couch or whatever? While Williams says it's like having a felony dishonorable discharge. Okay, yep, that is true. Damien says leaving the military with dirty papers is bad for your health. Praz, how are you? Says there was a second time. Yeah, that's news to me. I didn't hear about a second time, but apparently, Demario, how you doing? It says Black First FBA. Yes, indeed. And Alonzo, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. He says they are not letting black people pass down wealth. Right. But, you know, with the money that we do have for now, there's no reason why we can't, right? Stop giving away 97% of our wealth that we do have. Terry, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. You say, talk about white privilege. Biden's son has all the qualifications, white skin, have friends. Oh, yeah, you can believe that. And his dad is the president. Brother Reddy. So, yes, you remind everybody to hit the likes. I appreciate you for that. All right, so I'm at the bottom. King Shaw says he pardoned Kilpatrick. Yeah, Trump did. Trump pardoned a few people, and Kilpatrick is one of them. And I think his daughter's father-in-law was pardoned too, if I'm not mistaken. I know he will have a role in his cabinet.
Yeah, matter of fact, Trump just appointed him ambassador to France.
Yeah, so, you know, Trump was like, why not? And he did say that he was going to pardon the J6ers once he got in office, it remains to be seen. But I'm like, shoot, Biden, you're supposed to be the president of black people, because that's what the Democrats are. They're the party of black people, right? What you waiting on? There's also a whole lot of Black Panthers locked up somewhere, still alive. Couldn't you do something there? Put a word in somewhere? They've been in there since the 60s and 70s. Saadiq Shakur, they New Jersey, or actually the federal government, still got a bounty on Saadiq Shakur, who's in Cuba, for $3 million. They want her still to this day. And the Saadiq Shakur is in her 70s. And they still want her. You know what I mean? And it's been proven with all the evidence that she nor the other two gentlemen had anything to do with the murder of that trooper, the New Jersey state trooper on the turnpike. So at what point, does he decide to do something for black people, especially since when he was in office as a senator and everything else, he's caused a lot of harm to black people? Just asking. Let's see here. Frank, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, general discharge, you are still entitled to benefits. In most cases, not Hunter, though. Yeah, I didn't even know he was in the military.
Yeah, and by the way, yeah, the general, I agree with you on that, but Hunter was administratively discharged, so he's still entitled to benefits.
Yeah. You got Grandmaster Jay, who's locked up with the game. They gave 9 years in Kentucky for allegedly pointing his gun at an officer or whatever the case is. He's been in there for a couple of years now. I mean, there's a lot of people that deserve a pardon, but your son, who's a spoiled, entitled, rich kid who, has also been accused of doing some overseas dealings. Now, how true that is, I don't know, but that was part of the allegations as well. Not, I guess, part of the trial, but his father was also implicated in that. So there's a lot of things going on, right? JD Informer, how you doing? Curtis, what's going on with you? He says, what happened to the law, foreigners, and domestic? Mad Doggy says, Trump pardoned Angela Stanton King. Yeah, she rides out for Trump as well. Demario, you says Nkrumah. Okay. Yes, King Charlie says New Jersey is a racist state and hard laws. Yep. Jupiter, I know I said hello to you, but I don't remember, so I'll say it again. Hello, he says, if I was Trump, I would pardon Snowden, J6 folks, a lot of Black Panther folks that got trumped up charges. Yep, that's what I would do. I mean, come on. Does Black Panther's been in there since the 60s and 70s? It's, what can they actually do at this point? They're in their upper 70s and, 80s at this point. It's crazy. Valerie, how are you? Hope you're doing well. It says judges do this every day when they suspend sentences for them folks. Yep. Yikwa, how you doing? It says, yeah, give the families affected on the war on Negroes they claim was drugs, money for pain and suffering. Got you, Nate Davis. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. It says Biden is a racist. It says no one is expecting his racist butt to do anything for ADOS. Hunter is a crackhead and is being afforded white privilege. You better believe it. Yes, that is the president. He has the ability to save him from going to jail, so he's going to do it, right? Daryl, he says Trump might pardon Saadiq Shakur. He would do it to screw the Black politicians. Something tells me that he wouldn't, because from both sides of the aisle, they really believe that Asada and Sundiata Akoli and Brother Malik, I think his name was, they believe that they're guilty, And again, if you look at, and I've read her book and I've studied the case, you look into it clearly, they didn't do it. They were just the scapegoat for it, right? So Chris Christie, when he was the governor, he was after her. He never let it die. And even when Obama was in office, they were like, yo, what are you going to do? She's, on the FBI most wanted list. I think even to this day, what are you going to do? And he basically said, well, we're not interested in pursuing Asada because she has political asylum in Cuba. And when Fidel Castro was alive, he was like, we're not sending her back, which is why we in our community say hands off Asada, because Cuba's like, she's good here and don't come over here looking for her, because if you do, you're going to have some issues. And she's been over there since I think the early 80s or late 70s, mid 70s, something like that. So she's got political asylum, but United States still wants her back. So I don't think Trump will be pardoning her, because he had to face backlash from his people, the Republicans especially.
Yeah. And if you got to think about this, you just said Obama during that time. You had a Black president that knows the issues, He has top secret clearance, whatever. He's the president of the United States, and he could have just wiped this all out and brought that woman home, but chose not to. Chose not to. See, this is what I'm saying when it comes to our Black representatives. The CBC is quiet. NAACP, all of these Black groups that are supposed to represent us and fight for us, they become silent when it has to do with the money that they might get from this party, that party, whatever the deal is. I mean, they don't represent us, but let them, and I know this is another show, but I just get enraged when I see these Black politicians talking about they are going to put up defense funds for illegal migrants and all this other stuff. They are 10 toes down for people that should not be here. And I say, if those politicians do that, throw them in jail too for obstruction.
Absolutely. But yeah, Trump is not going to do that. In Obama, I could not to defend Obama, but I could low key see him saying, leave her alone, because they want her bad. You know, to this day, they want her. So I would think if she was to come back here, that they would probably try to do something to her. You know, they feel like she got away with murdering one of their own, a police officer, you know, and like I said, the facts of the case are all over the place. That does not say that Asada and, you know, her fellow BLA co-members did that. So I think she's safe where she is. Does she want to come home? Yeah, she's spoken about it. She has dreams of being free and things like that, but I think she's safer in Cuba.
So go ahead. You know, we were talking about the CBC when I was talking about, I want you guys to do this, and we need to do this because a lot of the baby boomer militants up in Chicago, and I'm so proud of them, because these are the people that weren't stopping the revolution, and these are the people that I'm talking about. When I talk about baby boomers, I don't say all of them. It's those ones that kept the revolution going, and they're showing how to do it up in Chicago. They are calling for all of these sellouts, be it that we take their names down, the Steve Harveys, the Rolanda Martins, and all these other people. We start taking these people's names down and canceling them, period, out of the community. And we just have to start over again and get new representation in regards to letting this new generation know, if you ain't going to do the work and advocate for us, you're out of there. So big ups to them, because that's what we got to start doing. We got to start labeling these people and getting them up out of there.
Absolutely. Yeko Boy says maybe Trump could make Joe do it. He might. And let's see here. Mirror work conversation. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Love and appreciate you for that. Let's see here. We'll just skip down. Yeah, Rolanda is wild. Y'all really y'all crazy with the Rolanda. Y'all know who that is. I don't think I need to tell y'all who that is. All right, so my comments I skipped up. Let me go back. Okay, yes, hands off Asada. Yes, indeed. Facts and feelings. You say Obama is not black. He is biracial. Okay. Y'all keep saying Obama ain't black. Screw Obama down. Yeah, he ain't coming out of hiding no time soon. BJ, how you doing? Says they're all bought and paid for. Yeah, for the most part, right? Our Negro says, wouldn't they get reparations too? King Shaw says Jasmine Crockett is still going to defend Biden's pardon and don't mention nothing about pardoning black people. But nah, black people love Jasmine Crockett. They like all that hollering and screaming she be doing and all these little catchphrases and stuff she did. They love it. They don't care if she actually talks about helping black people. Not her. 48 TCL, he said somebody make Joe recite the Pledge of Allegiance while waking up or walking up rather escalator. That's right. Movie says you crazy. Gina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well, y'all. Yeah, I see y'all have no love for Obama at all. Facts and Phillips says CBC is looking at their future money and they are in collaboration with white supremacy in society. You better believe it. Brother Reggie says Chris Christie needs to get after a treadmill. I remember when Trump was clowning him. Yeah, and then they all, fell in love with him and all of that. Terry says black faces in high places does nothing for the black community. Nothing at all. Valerie says, I agree with Don. Place all CBC in jail that makes any moves to defend illegals. Yeah, right. They ain't going to do that, right? Raven says some black people think that heifer with the blindfold on and two scales. I think justice is balanced and fair. Many of us need to understand prisons keep a vacancy light on for us. Got to, especially if you understand that prisons are a lot of them are private. I know that a lot of people say that they're not private. There's no more private federal, or actually federal government has nothing to do with private prisons. Yeah, they do. They just use a middleman now. The middleman, some other entity gets the money, and then they funnel that to these private prisons. With that private prisons, you have to guarantee a return of investment to your investors, which means that you have to have those beds full, the rooms, the cells to the tune of 90%. So when you know that, you're absolutely right, Raven. They do have to keep the vacancy light on, and why not us, right?
Yeah.
They're expendable. We've been doing it forever, and it is because of Black people. They were the first product, if you will, in these prisons. So why change it up?
Yeah, I mean, they basically operate like nonprofits and stuff. So they instead of doing the government doing the job, they're going to get that middleman to do it. And Sheila Jackson Lee out there giving out water from her nonprofit and stuff. Knocking on doors, giving out water, even though she got a grant of $2 million, she's giving out 78-cent small airline water bottles.
Right. R.I.P. to her. Yokobo, you're absolutely right. In fact, Not Feelings, I saw you say the same thing. It says they let the Panthers out. They didn't let the Panthers out. I wouldn't trust them come back. Yeah, I believe, she's safer there. She just is, because they would have it out for her. They're mad as hell that she has, in their opinion, escaped responsibility for that officer, if you will. So yeah. It's a beautiful book, by the way, her story. Let's see here. Lovely says Obama instead was more interested in the LGBTQ agenda. Now, that's true. And, originally he wasn't for it at all. He was not going to be signing up for same-sex marriages at all, him or Biden. They were against it, but then later on they changed their mind, which is why they label him the first gay president, because he's the one that ushered in the legislation that we have now. Kelly, how you doing? Says, I agree they should be canceled. Yes, and that's by not voting for him, right, Mr. South Carolina? How you doing? He says, what's to stop Trump for pardoning his cronies now? Well, he's not in office now. So when he gets in office, January 20th, then he could do that. Since, again, it was a federal crime that they committed, he could do that but he's not in office now, so he can't. And I know you know that, right? Wild Williams says, I met the brother, not a bad thing to say, but the folks wasn't having it. Okay. King Shaw says, Biden is just so racist, he ain't going to free Black folks. No, not at all. Brother Reddy says, Demetri, where is Rolanda the He's here. He's just listening and just saying, let me know when you need me to come on in. I will. He's right here paying close attention. He's taking notes, and he's here. Alonzo says, why don't we boycott the entirety of Hollywood? Says they are doing a soft ethnocide of us. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV or whatever the case is. I don't have a problem with that at all. Hollywood has been problematic since the inception of Hollywood, right? So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I can do it. I'm doing it now, in a sense. Mad Dog says, deport Mayor Brandon Johnson. Right. Since you love him so much, go with him. Of course, that is the mayor of Chicago. Gina, he says, big soup cooler. Ooh, Lip, Steve, Harvey, DL, Hughley, Cardi B, Beyonce, too. They all got to go. Missions, Visions, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Donovan, did you want to jump in there?
Well, I have a question when it comes to these people. Have you noticed after the damage that they do, then they disappear? And then I guess there's this new app that's called Blue Sky. How? Yeah. I'm trying to get myself to understand this. How do you join an app where everybody thinks like you do, and you're supposed to expand your opinion on things or your horizons? If you join an organization or you join a group that everybody thinks like you, what would be the point of that? So I think DL Hughley canceled his X account and he went to Blue Skies. A lot of these stars are going to the Blue Skies thing. And, it just doesn't make sense to me. They go and hide under their rocks after the damage they do, and then they still think they have credibility with the community.
Yeah, and ain't nobody going to blue sky. You know, if they couldn't influence people to vote for Kamala, what makes them think they can influence people to go to blue sky? Like, what the hell is that even? They'll be back. You know, they leave X or whatever it is, they're mad and they come back because, you know, ain't nobody over there trying to, you know, it's like, so you can't get your way. You're going to, you know, exit and tell everybody to come with you. It's like, you good luck with that. Mars, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says, has she been stuck in Cuba and never left for the rest of her life so far? Yep, she's been over there ever since and has not been able to come back. There's still a $3 million bounty on her head. They want her back badly. And she's well into being a senior citizen in her 70s, right? So, yeah, they want her back. But Cuba was like, don't touch her. You not coming over here and we not giving her back to you. We have granted her full political asylum. So, yeah, leave her alone. And that's where she's been ever since. So
yeah, and have you guys noticed, like, that's why it's important to travel. Have you guys noticed that Castro and his brother, they are white Cubans, and the dark-skinned Cubans that are like us, 80% of them love Castro. They love him because he distributed to land, he educated them, whatever. Notice that the Cubans that are bitching all the time are the white Cubans down in Florida. They're always bitching and moaning. And notice a sister was in trouble and Castro gave her full protection. Make it make sense.
Yeah, and you know, there's a lot of it. See, you got to consider the source as well. United States government has, as they always do with foreign leaders, when they can't get their way with them, they trump up this propaganda that they're horrible, problematic people. Of course, they have told the American people that Castro is a horrible person. Well, he's gone now, but he was a horrible person. Things like that. Of course, Che Guevara was like, you know, his right hand man, if you will. And like Donovan said, they turned to socialism, for lack of better words, when Bautista, the president before Castro, was ousted. And so with that, the rich, like Donovan said, was like, well, we're not going to stay here. So they went to Miami, which is why you have a heavy populated community in Florida, Miami, because that's where they went. And so, like you said, the darker Cubans, if you will, the ones that look like us, they stayed and they benefited from the socialism because the wealth was, there was no evenness of wealth at all. Either you were very rich or you were very poor. And Fidel and Che Guevara was like, you know, we're going to, you know, spread the wealth a little bit. And with that, everything improved. Their reading, the economy, just everything improved. However, it should be said that, you know, United States government under John F. Kennedy, they were mad at Cuba because they wanted to go and just kind of like treat it like a playground, do whatever they wanted to do. And Fidel was like, I don't think so. Y'all not coming over here, you Americans, and having your way. So then they put these sanctions on them. And so if you ever go over there, you'll see that they don't hardly have any new cars at all. It was stuck like in the 1950s. I think that was kind of the last shipment of cars that they have. They're still driving around because the United States put those sanctions. Now, when Obama came, some of them were loosened, but not much. But yeah, so we have to, the point to that is be careful of the stories that we hear about people, because if it comes from the United States government, the opposite is probably true. Just saying. Let's see. Thunder, did I say hello to you? If not, hello. Easy E, what's going on with you? Yeah, Thunder Blue Sky is like another Twitter. It's actually by Jack Dorsey, who used to own Twitter. So he went and opened Blue Sky. Remember, he sold it to Elon. So now he opened Blue Sky and he's like, hey, y'all don't like what Elon is doing? Come on over here. So a lot of these celebrities like, hey, I can't get my way. And Kamala lost, so we're gonna go to Blue Sky. It's like, I almost put up the wrong finger, but then I remember, no, put two up. Yeah. Ernest, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Astrological thing, it says Blue Sky's never heard of it. Yeah, most people haven't. I think, like I said, they'll be back. You know, ain't nobody listening to them no more. Yes, there you go, Brother Reggie. It is an echo chamber for the Democrats. Absolutely. Alicia, you said the same thing. You guys are absolutely right. Because, you know, and plus, you know, Trump, he has True Social. That's his social media, right? So I guess the Blue Skies, you're supposed to go over there and whine about everything, I guess. I don't know. Brother Reggie says Cuba is beautiful. Went there in 2013. Yep. I've never gone, but I'd like to go. Walter's gone and he loves it. He's like, I can't wait to go back. Tracy says, I'm on Blue Sky simply because I follow certain communities of interest that has nothing to do with politics. Got you. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of people have a reason to go over there. I'm just not one of them. Lance, you say Castro stopped Jim Crow laws taking place in Cuba. Yes, it's another thing too. Castro and Che were friends of the Black community. That you know, they had mad respect for that of Malcolm X and what he was doing for black people via the Nation of Islam. So of course, they try to tell us, oh, they're racist and things like that. Like I said, do your history. That they understood and followed the plight of black Americans during that time. So they definitely were a friend of black people.
Yeah, if you go look at the old YouTube reels and stuff like that, you will see that when Castro came to the United States to talk at the United Nations, the American government wanted to put him up in one of those ritzy hotels where it was all bugged and stuff so they could hear what they're saying and stuff. He stayed in Harlem. At the bequest of the Nation of Islam, they put him up in Harlem where the black folks were, and he had no problem staying there whatsoever.
Right, yeah. So like I said, if they telling y'all one thing, it's probably the opposite. So Jesse say facts, Donovan, about black Cubans' love for Fidel Castro. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the lighter ones that had the money that were mad that they were going to share the wealth. Brother Samuel, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. He says, watch a video, Travis Hunter video, good advice. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, we try to shorten those down a little bit. We did that earlier today. Damon says the white American government doing all the dirt. Yeah, they mad because they can't get their way in a lot of people's countries, and they go to stabilize the government, get rid of the leader, and then they trump up these lies about how they were, inhumane to their people and, things like that. And of course, a lot of that was done before social media, right? You just have to take the word of the media. But now that there's social media, there's a lot of things that we know to not be true, right? Because people can get the other information out, which is why someone like the Democrat, they have an issue with social media because there's people talking too much, and no reparation, no vote. How you doing? How easy you say Biden may need to deport TD. What? TD Cakes, you wildin'. With his fake phony pretending to have health issues to get out of the spotlight with Diddy. Y'all gonna put that man with Diddy some way, somehow. Y'all need to quit. TD Jakes is suing some YouTuber for lying about something he did. And so, these people
that's the guy that claims that TD hit his cakes.
Wow. I know nothing about none of that. None of it. Yes, Alicia, Obama lifted embargo somewhat loosely, right? Like very lightly. Brother Reggie says we took a taxi in Cuba that was built in 1939. The exhaust pollution is awful. Yeah, it was awful because they can't get anything new. They've been basically sanctioned for not bending over for the United States of America, So
yeah, and the good thing is, even though the pollution is bad there, you're on a tropical island, so the air is usually cleared, because of the tropical stuff. So it's on an island, so it's not as bad as like California.
Come on, Matthew. Say it again. Says leave our sister alone in Cuba like you did Carolyn Bryant. You know what I'm saying? And again, Biden's in office. They have the ability to say, hey, Carolyn, we know you in there. You got to come on out. But they said, no, well, she says she didn't do it. We're going to leave it alone. And they let that lady die. Now, I would say this. She didn't die in peace because I know the Black Panthers, the new faction of him, if you will, Malik, I forget his last name. But anyway, under his leadership, I think his last name is Malik. Anyway, they was like, oh, she moved. Bet. Let's go. Open up. So she did not have peace. She had to keep moving and moving because they're like, no, we're not going to never let you have no peace. We're going to keep reminding you of what you did to Emmett Till.
And the very sad thing is the person who was in charge of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice was a Black woman and refused to press charges or bring her to justice. Very sad.
Yep. Alonzo says blue is what you pay for insurance every month. And what is that? Thunder says also Castro had programs for Black Americans. If you wanted to learn anything like becoming a doctor, you can go to Cuba and learn for free. But there's one catch. You must go back to your community help. Yes, and that's still offered to this day that I know of. But yeah, and even during the pandemic, Cuba offered to help, and the United States said no. So, while people were succumbing to the virus. Negro says if Kanye comes back from Japan, you think Trump got a job for him? He might. I like Kanye where he is, minding his business. Equal Boy says about to listen to y'all on the TV family, and I'm reading what y'all write on the chat as well. Yeah, I watch YouTube on my TV as well when I'm laying down and I fall asleep normally.
Is that during my show that you fall asleep when I'm on?
And when you say, so hello everybody, this is Donovan. I'm like, damn it, I missed it again. Thunder says, I looked at the stock price for Blue Sky, and this may be an opportunity to make some money. Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, but I don't need no more social media accounts. I barely even use the ones that I got. You got TikTok. I be forgetting I even have them. Like, maybe I should post something on there. It's been like 6 months. You know, Alicia, he says, Castro called Bush Jr. stupid old El Presidente. He knew better than we did, right? Samuel, see how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lance says Hugo Chavez was also pro-black as well. I wonder what Venezuela would be like if he was still alive. Yeah.
Well, here's my question to you guys. Why is it that Cuba, a developing country, could turn people into doctors for absolutely free? And yet, if you wanted to become a doctor, an engineer here, you're going to either put yourself in thousands of dollars in debt, or you're going to, pay exorbitant amount of money to become a doctor, and they're doing it over there for free, which is, in this world, we need doctors, we need nurses, we need engineers. They're training people over there for free. And yet here in America, we have a system set up that says if you want to do a certain occupation, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. And, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I always ask myself this question: if this country's poorer than the United States and they can do it, why can't we do that? Because that's something that benefits the citizenry. It just doesn't make sense.
Let me see. Yeah, as far as I know, Obama did not put any bounty on her. He was asked about it, and he said he's not interested in doing that. I believe I believe the FBI might have, but I know for sure New Jersey did. Now, keeping in mind, not enlightened, this might be where you might be right, because they say the DOJ operates independently of the president. Well, I think we've learned in his last administration it might not be the case. So you might be onto something. Maybe he was speaking out loud, one thing and backdoor doing another. So you may be right. But yeah, I don't think that he cared for her. But that's what he said anyway. So good catch. Good catch. Yes, brother Samuel Malik Shabazz. Yes, he was on Carolyn Bryant's tail. Everywhere she moved, they was right on her. And they, at her last breath, they were making sure that they let everybody know we're still pursuing justice, even if the DOJ does not. We still are pursuing justice for Emmett Till. So, did she die in peace? She and her family, and she lamented about, oh, I'm an old lady, leave me alone. Oh gosh, So I don't think she was in peace at all. All right, so let's see. We got about 3 more minutes. Mirror work. It said TD filed the papers to sue the day after his health issue. This is why many are saying the crisis wasn't real. Yeah, but when you sue somebody, you have discovery, right? So if there is some truth to whatever the YouTuber is saying, they can bring that out and ask for those things to be proven or whatever the case is. So I don't know what TD Jakes has been up to. I don't follow TD Jakes at all. I don't even think I've seen a whole sermon of his to even tell you much about him. I know he's got the Potter's house and they're kind of like everywhere. But other than that, I don't know much about him. If he's guilty of something, surely he will pay for it. As it say in the Bible, pastors, they're held to a higher standard. So whatever they're doing to people, if it's not right, they will get it then some and then some over. Right. So I don't know. I'll just put that out there. Thunder says, with the history of American mainstream media, if they say someone is bad, the bad guy, you might need to check for yourself. And after you find out, more than likely will shake that person's hand. Exactly.
Well, remember, you guys, everybody keeps forgetting this because we're in this newfangled new age. Operation Mockingbird has been going on since the 1950s, and that's a CIA controlled element where they control the media. So if we can get Americans behind a certain thing that we want to do, good example, how we got into Vietnam, good example, how we got into Desert Storm, good example, how we got into 9/11 and all these other stuff. It's to get everybody to feel a certain way and then go over there and do a certain thing. And that's, we keep forgetting the CIA is behind a lot of this stuff to formulate opinion.
That red boy, you crazy as hell. Okay, talking about Joe Biden smashed Carolyn Bryant at a Jim Crow rally back in 1955. He couldn't send his boo to jail. Black Justice, how you doing? Says Cuba has a cure for lung cancer. They had it about 10
I heard about
years.
that. I heard about that.
Black Empowerment, how you doing? Says we BA community on code caused Democrat donors to lose $2 billion bags. Yeah, they said it's up to $2 billion now that Kamala just tricked off, just like she was at a strip club.
Mm-hmm.
Just tricking. Damon says, why Whitey don't believe in that? We should. Okay. Thunder says, if the DNC is going to try and use blue sky as a tool weapon against us, why not let them pay us at the same time? They have no problem cutting checks for everyone else. Yeah, you can, invest in the stock or whatever. I just won't be going over there. Hey, Cynthia, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lovely says capitalism is the reason, Donovan. Easy says it's cakes. Y'all, that man's name is TD Jakes. Okay, I don't know nothing about his cakes. Nothing at all. And I don't want to know about. Y'all see how TD Jakes is shaped? What I look like, wonder about that man's cakes. He's shaped like a trophy,
Wait a minute. It ain't what he's supposed to look. He has a nice personality. Ain't that what y'all tell us?
Hey, he got a lot of money too, so he'd have no problems getting a woman. Man, if that's what he's into. I'm not saying he is, but it's not a problem. But again, like if he's done something wrong, he definitely will pay for that, right? Daryl, you say the oohs are still getting Holocaust justice. They are arresting 103-year-old Germans around the world. Yeah, they bringing them in, aren't they? Yeah, y'all wilding with the TD Jakes thing. Cynthia says, I just went on my lunch break. Yay, what you having for lunch? Allie, how you doing? Says, hey guys, Biden and Kamala want to leave a firehouse, aka the White House. You said they want to leave a firehouse or a burning house. Is that what that is?
Yeah, they're going to burn it down on the way out.
Yeah, clearly, right? Hey, Monet, but I saw that Zelensky was like, hey, okay, listen, I'm about ready for this war to be over, so we'll give Russia a little bit of land if that'll make them happy. I wonder why. They all of a sudden.
Well, all that trillions of dollars that, according to the CBO, has been unaccounted for. We don't know where it went. Zelensky's buying boats and houses all around the world. I mean, I can tell you right now, from the Dominican Republic, the Russians were buying all kinds of property and probably still doing it down there. And we can't account for this money that we just send over there. We're talking about the cash. We're not even talking about the military arm. We're talking about the cash money that's been sent.
Right. Mr. South Carolina says, aren't Cuban? Isn't Cuba pro-Russian? Why can't they get cars from Russia? Major League Baseball player, Roydus champion is from Cuba. Throw fastest pitcher in the MLB. I don't know. Maybe Cuba's like, y'all want something from us that we ain't trying to give you.
Well, you got to remember the fall of the Soviet Union basically severed the ties of Cuba and Russia. They had nothing in common when Russia became a capitalist system. So it kind of changed the dynamics because Cuba was heavily dependent on Russian oil and military support and money. And they didn't get that once the revolution in Russia took over.
There you go. Alonzo says, Dr. Claude Anderson tells you about controlling the media and why it's important to have you guys. Yes, indeed. And we're going to be here as long as we can. And thanks to you all. Easy says, this man has been misleading the people with God in the sky too long. Well, they want to be misled, right? Thunder says, verbal is slander and it's written and is liable. Yep. It says, and remember, the burden of proof is on the accuser in the criminal court. In a civil court, the accused has the burden. Yeah. Yes, but whoever's bringing the case actually has the burden, of proving that they were slandered, right? So in a sense, they have to prove that it's not true. So I get what you're saying, but yeah, if TD Jakes is bringing a case, he has to prove that what's being said about him is indeed slanderous, libel, or defamation by proving that it's not true. So I think, yeah, y'all wilded. Let's see. Tracy says, isn't Biden about to send another 725 million to Ukraine? I did hear that as well. So yeah, easy to say his case getting smashed, causing him to lean too much to front, cause him to fail. Y'all crazy. Y'all believe I'm TD Jakes. If you watching this, that ain't me. It's them. I said, I don't know what you're doing with your cakes. I don't know who's putting frost. Daryl says people forget the CIA has its own printing press. Cuba joins BRICS. They will get cars from Russia and China. Yeah, and of course, y'all heard about what Trump is saying about BRICS, that they are going to put sanctions on them as well, and tariffs and all kind of things for the BRICS countries, basically wanting to move away from the dollar. He says we won't have it. Biden said the same thing. It's like, well, it remains to be seen.
Well, I want to add this before we get out of here. Since we're talking about propaganda, the CIA, and how they control the media, you guys could go on YouTube right now, and a lot of my military folks is probably familiar with this. The day before 9/11 actually happened, Donald Rumsfeld, in a Pentagon press interview, went to the cameras and said the Pentagon cannot find an account for $3 trillion was missing. $3 trillion. $1 trillion is a lot of money. $3 trillion is a lot of money. The Pentagon could not account for it after a audit that they did. The next day, 9/11 happened. The building that fell that no plane hit had the records of where they could start to find where that $3 trillion went and all that other stuff. Now, I know people say, well, this is a conspiracy, whatever, but here's factual stuff. You can go on YouTube and look up Donald Rumsfeld, $3 trillion, and he's actually saying that. And until this very day, they haven't found the $3 trillion. They haven't even bothered to look for it. These are our tax dollars just being thrown to the wind. Who is getting this money? Somebody got that money.
Yeah, and they mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, like, yo, all this money is missing. And it just, people fighting over everything but paying attention to what's going on, and that's all done by design. There you said, Demetri, when will you call on the Al Sharpton show again? My daughter forbids me to do it. And whenever we're in the car on Sunday morning and Al Sharpton's going to come on there lying to everybody, I'm like, I'm going to call in. And my daughter's like, don't do it, because it kind of makes her uncomfortable. Because I'm like, I'm nice. And Daryl, I don't know if you heard me calls. That's why you're asking. Well, I'm nice about it. But I'm like, I'm not going to sit up here and lie with you. You know what I mean? So maybe if I'm not in the car with her one day, I'll pull over and say, hey, they call him loudmouth. That's what they call him. And when they was calling, I was like, what they call him? But I guess that's his name, loudmouth. I'll say, hey, loudmouth or big mouth or whatever. So I will. I want to, but my daughter's like, nah, I don't do it. She a hater.
Yeah, and real quick, what's crazy though? Like I just told you guys that, and a lot of you guys are familiar with it or remember that. You'll be surprised at how many Americans didn't even know that actually happened. It's out of the air. Money's just being taken. And
they talked about it recently too, that the money is still missing.
Right. And the thing is, we don't have money for schools. We don't have money for, $3 trillion, you can do healthcare and forgive everybody student loans and build homes. It's amazing. And nobody talks about this stuff because that's the whole point.
Well, because they want you to talk about Diddy, TD Jakes. I ain't going to say the other thing, TD Jakes, in case you're watching. I want you to talk about Kendrick and Drake. They want you to talk about, the things that just don't matter at all. They keep us all distracted with that, making you think you had a choice in the election. Oh my God, Trump this. It's always been said that, and I saw somebody else talk about it, capitalism is the puppet master. And everything else under there, politics, religion, gender, race, and, Kendrick and Drake, those are all distractions. So you won't care as much. Because you think about it, you hear that $3 trillion is missing. Well, to the commoner, which is us, We'll never see that type of money. We'll never even be in the same room with that type of money. We'll never be have a say so with that type of money. So we kind of feel like that's out of our control. But even something as small as a Kendrick and Drake beef, well, I can at least get on the internet and say Team Kendrick, Team Drake, and they not like us or whatever. But you know, you won't even care about the $3 trillion. But that's a lot of money because you know most of us have to pay taxes. You don't pay your taxes, they ain't gonna say, well, Dimitri, we know she ain't paid your taxes in 3 years. I can't find the money.
Joe Biden made a special task force to make sure you're paying taxes on your cash apps and all that other stuff. And the sad thing is, Americans always talk about, well, we can't pay reparations. You know, it's going to cost a lot of money, but you lost $3 trillion that you're not even bothering looking for. That would have been a great start.
Kelly, you crazy? Talk about I heard Kamala spend some of the campaign money on her nails.
$5,000 was audited. Yeah, and some of the filings, $5,000 worth of nails were being done.
For real?
Yes.
Well, I mean, she gotta look good.
It's in the filing. Yeah, you know, and a lot of people don't know that you can charge that to your filings as part of campaign expenditure. You can. Brandon Johnson, when he does that stupid little haircut, he charges that to his expenditures.
I hope he ain't paying much. Yeah, Brother Damon, it's a Ponzi scheme on steroids. It is, you know, but most people ain't gonna even. This is $3 trillion. Like I said, try that with your taxes and see what happened. Like you said, Donovan, Joe Biden was like, we're gonna get a special task force on it. Because we know there's some people out there that's shirking their tax responsibilities.
All you
Man,
PP loan people, down. All you PP loan people, we're going to get every last one of you. A 10-year moratorium. If they have to go out, they're going to get every dollar back. But you can't account for $3 trillion.
That's why I hope when Trump come in office, because, you know, he wasn't cutting for all that. Let's crack it down because it was his people that was getting the money. You know what I mean? It was free for all of them.
Yeah, but you got to remember, though, if he starts trying to audit that money, he will, God forbid, I'm just saying it's been known in history, mysteriously get an ailment and pass away or natural causes, or after 3 attempts on his life, one might be successful.
Right. Brother Eddie says, I want to know about them aliens they was talking about in Congress last month. Yeah, they've been talking about them, right? But guess who else been talking about the Nation of Islam? They've been talking about them forever. And there's other people. You that fire in the sky, talking about Scotty beam me up. People like, you lying. It's like, no, for real. I remember that movie Fire in the Sky. I was scared as hell. Because when and then when he came back, they was like, it stuck needles in my eyes and stuff. I was like, they did what? Oh, and he's more than likely telling the truth. I mean, there's been people who've seen aliens before. Like, we are very cavalier to think that we are here by ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know? Because I think Donovan's an alien, but he ain't gonna never tell nobody.
Odd Negro official says she only needs $500K. That's all she's asking for. She don't want to, you know, she just needs 500. She's good with that.
Yeah, give me half of that, and I'll be all right. Artist, how you doing? Says I agree with Miss Turner. He could have pardoned more low-level prisoners. Yeah, he still can if he wants to, right? Emmy says, you still waiting for that stimulus check? Alonzo says, all VA and Social Security people don't have to report any income less than $18,000. Never have to file. Yeah, but you think about it, who can really live on $18,000 in the United States of America? You know, if you're assuming, not you, but people assuming that people on Social Security are retired and that they maybe own their house and have no debt, but that's not true, you know?
I mean, as a matter of fact, they've been talking and pushing that they've got seniors that are living off Social Security of like $1,800 or whatever it is. And it's like, oh my God. Well, again, why is it that Americans think Social Security is something you live on? Social Security is supplemental insurance to what you're supposed to retire from. So get off your asses and go get a job. And well, of course, pensions don't exist anymore. But that's what it was supposed to be for. It's supplemental income to what you were already supposed to be retired from whatever company. But the Democrats and the Republicans shipped all the jobs overseas, so that is not applicable anymore.
Right. Dear self, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. We're about to get on out of here. Brother Reggie says there's definitely aliens on Over here, oh yes. I listen. I just tell them, listen. You don't want nothing with me. It's nothing extraordinary about me at all. I'm just minding my business. I want you to mind yours. Okay, just mind your business. Mind your business, and we good. Terry says, I'm still waiting for the mothership to pick me up. Right?
Hey, hey, George Clinton. I mean, he sang about it. The mothership connection.
Well, George Clinton was always on something, so people was like, he just okay. Yeah, he all right. Easy says, if aliens are real, why is it no black folks have never saw Bigfoot? Because we don't be where Bigfoot be at. You know what I'm saying? Black people ain't going, I'm just going to go frolicking in the forest looking for little dandelions and stuff. I'm going to be right. We don't be doing that. We hear, we're like, nope, get in the car. We leaving. Right? We don't be where Bigfoot is at.
I disagree with all you guys. Aliens stopped coming to this planet in the 1950s. And I'll tell you why. And Dimitri, remember, I should say this all the time. They stopped coming to the planet in the 1950s. When they saw how the white folks were treating black folks here and in Africa, it's just like that planet in Star Trek where the people had the alien mind. And, it's like, you can't go to that planet no matter what. It's been sealed off. That's what the aliens did to the Earth. They said, them white people, we ain't going there. Cordon that planet off.
Yeah, they said no. They treacherous. Okay, we just gonna keep on going to another universe. What do they say on Star Trek? What's the saying? Wait, hold on. Now, what do they say? Where they going? Where are they going?
Yes, to the galaxies far, far away. Right
from here. Okay. They don't want nothing with me. Easy, nothing at all. No. Senegami, how you doing? It says aliens are real. Listen, you ain't got to tell me. I'm just telling them stay their asses away from me. Raven says I heard Biden was talking to aliens in the rainforest. He was, you know where he went? He went to the land of the lost. He was talking to Slee Stacks. Easy says, no, plenty of black campers. I mean, I don't know what to tell them, but we don't be hanging out with Bigfoot like that.
Yeah, Lord Flawless, he has the perfect thing. Aliens fly by Earth, roll up their windows and lock their doors. I'm telling you, they said, don't mess with these white folks. Cordon this planet off. Exactly.
With a pistol grip pump on their lap at all times as they're passing over this universe, okay? Woo! Brother Reddy says Sun Ra was always talking about outer space. Miss S, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So Thunder said there was 600 attempts on Fidel Castro. I believe it. Lord Floss, how you doing? Says aliens. Okay, yeah, you got that's what you read that one. Michael, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope you've been well. He says, although Nina Turner supports Medicare for all, tuition debt-free public higher education and advanced vocational training and other universal policies, she supports cash reparations as well. Yep. Yes, indeed. All right, so we are going to get out of here, DJ Brad. I saw you, but I want to say hello to you, Chantel. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Bitch, stay winning. How you doing? Says some of the aliens look like us, though. Even as a kid, I always believed there was more out there. Yeah, they probably look like us, but do they? Are they like us, or they not like us? Because is that who Kendrick was talking about? Because they can look like us, but they be doing some things. I just never want to run into one, but I do believe they're real. They don't never have to prove nothing to me. You crazy.
Let me read this. Juan D says, Donovan, you always manage to work my nerves. All elders on Social Security can't match your ego. Wait until you reach our age or age to say that. Can anybody tell me what did I say that wasn't true? Social Security is not a retirement plan. It is a supplemental income. So what did I say that was wrong there, Dimitri?
I don't honestly, I don't really be paying attention that closely, so I don't really remember what you said. But sometimes you probably be saying stuff. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Well, the thing is, because I'm telling the truth, Social Security is not a retirement plan. It was built up to be supplemental to what you retire from. That's all I'm saying. And for some reason, we think, oh, you're supposed to retire off that. No, you're not. You're supposed to go out there and work and build up something and work your ass off or whatever to get the maximum Social Security if that's what you're supposed to do. And again, I said it's not everybody's fault that we don't have retirements anymore, and a lot of people don't have those things because they ship the jobs overseas. So people got to deal with what they got to deal with.
Oh, but somebody said you said get off your A and get a job.
Well, I'm talking to the younger people who are going to be old one day, because you can't live off Social Security. You can't. It's just not going to happen. So.
Yeah, I mean, and then I think too, we live in a piss poor society to where we expect for our seniors to be working till they die. You know what I mean? I think there should be some provision for you to be able to just automatically be able to take care of yourself. There's not these, well, we're going to give you this amount of money. Damn well can't nobody afford this, especially if you're living in California, right? And you don't have everything paid off. Where are you going to live for $18,000? That's why I see a lot of our elderly people still working, and it's not right, so that needs to be fixed. So anyway, we're going to get out of here. Yes, pistol grip pump on my lap at all times.
And I'm going to tell you this. I know people that are living off $800 in Social Security because they made the wrong decisions in life, or they didn't work enough. And unfortunately, their company fell through or whatever. This is where you're seeing this phenomena of the next generation taking care of the older generation more so in what they need to do. And it's unfortunate. But I agree with you, Demetra. We just lost $3 trillion. We didn't just lose it, but $3 trillion is missing. Would this be an issue? There should be enough money to take care of our seniors. I'm not saying seniors shouldn't work. I'm saying
aliens got it.
Right. I'm saying this is our problem. We don't pay attention. But I will say this, and I'm not going to step back on it. You have some of those baby boomers that were in the revolution and they fought civil rights hard. And again, I say this all the time. Nobody benefited from the civil rights movement than the people that fought it. Rightly so. But they stopped the revolution. The biggest mistake that the civil rights era people made was they stopped the revolution. They went and got their damn weed. They went to go party. They wanted to go sleep with Brad and Becky and all that other bullshit. And I'm saying it right now. Not all baby boomers, because we got baby boomers in Chicago that are on fire, that are kicking ass up there. But the fact of the matter is, when the civil rights era people got what they wanted, and the little things and little trinkets that the government gave them, the revolution stopped. The leaders were getting killed off. Nobody stepped up, and we are here now. We are here now. So I don't want to hear a baby boomer that ain't in the revolution telling me shit, because you had your fight. This is our fight, and this is how we're going to do it.
Amen and amen. What did TD Jake say? Amen and amen. I'm just playing. Anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We will see y'all tomorrow. Everybody's like, you preach it, Donovan. Joanne says, just stay in your situation. Others have worked damn hard. Speak for your damn self. We getting out of here.
Wait. Well, then if others have worked so hard, Mr. Juwan, what are you complaining about? Oh, you must be one of those. What are you complaining about? That's all I'm saying. A hit dog doesn't holler.
Good night.